So before I begin with my speech, I'd like you all to take a look at this. What is that? Exactly, that is a stopwatch. It has been running from the moment I stepped foot on this red dot. And it shows that no matter what we do, time moves forward. And it shows us that time, although it runs the same for all of us, it's different in how we perceive. So it shows us what kind of a tapestry that time is. And yeah, this is... All right, as a school student, I find myself increasingly aware of the rapid pace at which time seems to move, and yet how in some specific moments it feels like it's standing completely still. Like how they say a week-long vacation feels like it took just a second, like a click, but doing a 1-minute plank feels like an eternity. Now, as I am a high school student, I feel that this time that I have is very, in the words of Einstein, relative, but not in the form of physics, in the form of perception. I feel that it moves differently because I do different things. I do things that make me feel at times happy, at times sad, and at other times very, very bored, like sitting down waiting for 6 hours. All right, there's a very big tension between these two experiences of time. A tension between the experience of time moving slow and time moving fast. That depth of perception is very different. And this is very important for someone my age, for someone our age, as we transition from childhood out into adulthood. And as I transition from childhood to adulthood, I think that by understanding how we experience time, it is easier for us to appreciate that as time moves, we grow with it. We learn to live in a life that we build ourselves, and allows us to gain a deeper appreciation for life itself. And okay, now, when I was younger, time felt infinite. Days seemed to last forever. I remember how the seamless school vacation, it was there. It was nice. It felt like a lifetime, and the smallest moments from playing outside with friends or getting lost in a never-ending video game would last forever. But now, as I grow, it changed. It changed a lot, and now the time just seemed to speed up. It seemed to accelerate. It's as if the years are slipping through my fingers. I mean, come on, it's already September 20-something. Now, I have these thoughts, these responsibilities about exams, plans, things I want to do with my future and about growing up. The once endless summer now feels too short, and weeks fly by in what feels like the blink of an eye. Now, normal people would call this growing up, but I've learned that this isn't something I'm imagining. There's a real psychological basis for this shift in how we perceive time. Now, countless universities have researched on this topic, such as George Mason University, who state that, quote unquote, because of cognitive aging and changes in how the brain processes sensory information, adults feel time to move faster. Now that may sound complex, but bear with me. As we age, when we were children, everything is new. We're constantly learning, discovering, and experiencing things for the first time. But as we age, we keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. So our brains filter out the useless information. For example, we don't look at a tree and go, oh my God, what the hell is that? Because we know what it is. We understand that it's a tree. We don't need to think of it. Now, additionally, scholars at Bayer College of London have developed this sort of theory that when we're young, let's say around 10 years old, 1 year is 10% of our total lifetime. But as we age to, let's say, 50 years, that 10% drops down to just 2%, of our total lifetime. Now, a sad truth for us to handle is that although time runs the same for all of us, with age, we experience it a lot more differently, sort of distorted into something a lot less familiar. Now, despite that fact, we want to retain our childlike sense of freedom. Sorry. But we must learn to tie the thread of time to that of freedom and responsibility, okay? Now, when we are young, although we may have been hyper, we are fully present in each and every moment, with no sense of urgency and no need for responsibility. As a child, I never thought about time running out or about things ending. We were just living in the moment and completely absorbed in whatever we were doing. But when we age, this idea of timelessness disappears. It's something that is lost as we age. Whether we start focusing on the future, on what's the next step in our lives, whether it be the next assignment, the next test, or the next step to success, as they say. Now, we become so future-oriented that we forget how to just live in the present, how to focus on now. There's this constant pressure for me, personally, as a high school student, to be planning for the future. Where I'm going to university, what courses I want to study, how I'm going to succeed with these plans in my life. And what I ask myself is, when we focus so much of our present, of our now, on the future, are we losing that ability to live truly in the present, to experience now as something that we actually care about, that we can look back from the future as something nostalgic? Now, here, being a high school student, standing at the edge of childhood and looking straight ahead into adulthood, it's a strange place to be. I feel like I should still be able to hold on to that childlike sense of wonder in order to experience the world with that sense of enthusiasm, that joy and happiness. But also, I understand the weight and responsibility that I must carry as I grow older, as I move into adulthood. And that is something that we must all learn to tie together, to focus on. We have to find a way to balance these two very different things in our lives. Now, something that we all forget to do, especially as we grow up, especially as we gain more responsibility, is spend more time with family, friends, society. And it shows us that time is a fabric that binds us all together, that it's something that we should nurture, savor, in order to enjoy life as something meaningful. I've come to understand that the moments that matter the most to me specifically aren't the ones where I'm rushing to meet a deadline or worrying about what's next to come. It's the ones where I feel completely connected with the people around me. I think about my friends, how we laugh until our sides hurt, or the sweet moments of quiet reflection when I'm looking ahead into the sunset. These are the moments that make time feel slower, that help us live our lives now as something that we can look ahead into as nostalgia. In a word, timeless. Now, although these moments are just moments, it's something that people overlook as unimportant. They consider what, for us generally in Sri Lanka, education is something that's the most sought after because we need that to move ahead. But in my personal view as a child, okay, I think that these moments of reflection, these moments of thinking are just as important, if not more important, than anything we may learn, anything we may have right now. Now, although this may sound childish, there is absolutely no point in planning if you never commit, if you never do. As a human, as a student, as a child, I am learning to balance these two separate times, all right? two separate beings of time. We must learn that although we age, we have to change with time. We have to adapt to that responsibility in order to live successfully. By embracing the moments of joy and connection, we can be with the people that we love while also taking that responsibility and building it into a successful future. Now, allowing ourselves to still experience life with the wonder of childhood is very helpful. It's good for mental health, obviously, and although the thread of time may become tangled or it may snap sometimes, we must be resilient enough to build it back to the place that we want it to be. And in doing so, we can honor the essence of childhood, the ability to live freely and to express our own opinions in a world with curiosity and wonder, and to find meaning in every single moment.